You want to have a glass of water or you're okay to start?
No, I'm okay to start. I had Greg Chappell interview at 2 o'clock.
I know we were listening to it. How did Greg Chappell go? How is he?
He was good. It went well, and he was very graceful. I would say, just as a top sportsman should be. Really nice.
Fantastic. Fantastic. So, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Ideas That Matter, webinars by Shoolini University. We're also doing this in association with Vivek Atray, who happens to be advisor and visiting fellow of Shoolini University. Vivek is a multifaceted man, as you all know. He's an ex-IAS officer, but two things that he does, which I'm actually very envious of. One is he leads an association called the Playwright, where he brings in world famous sportsmen into our lives. And the second is called the Vibrant Forum, which is Chandigarh's discussion forum into the latest topics. So we do many of these webinars in association with the Vibrant Forum. And thank you, Vivek, for those opportunities. Very quickly, as an introduction, my name is Atul Khosla. I am the founder and pro-vice chancellor of Shoolini University, very close to all of you. It's, as you all know, around an hour from Purvanu. As a quick introduction, as a quick background, my name is Atul Khosla. As I said, I am a BTech from IIT Kanpur. I did my MBA post that and then spent around 25 years in the corporate sector, in the industry, 7 different countries, 3 different companies, 2 entrepreneurial ventures, 2 startups. My last job was the CEO of a very large consulting firm, and I was heading their businesses in India and Asia, a company called Oliver Wyman. And then 7 years back, I decided to move to teaching. I would introduce myself as a very proud teacher, Vivek. So I think with that, we are going to spend the next 35 minutes listening to Vivek on something he's very, very close about. He's very, very passionate about finding success within. He's also written a book on this. I'll try to come in, but less today because it's your topic, Vivek. You're the guru, and I'll be preaching to the Pope if I speak. So Vivek Atray, over to you.
Thank you, Atul. I hope I'm audible, and it's nice to see so many people already in the webinar. And it's a great topic. Atul very graciously introduced my book, and this book is right in the beginning. Let me show it to you so that we don't save it for later. It's called Finding Success Within, and that's why this topic is close to my heart. It is something that I write about, I think about, I speak about, and I feel very strongly about. This is an opportunity for us to discuss the true meaning of success, what life should be about, what is success, what is happiness, what is the meaning of life. And if I look at various answers that I get when I go to these kinds of seminars, then I often get answers like, I say, what is the meaning of success? So they will say satisfaction, they will say achievement, they will say success in terms of profits or property or something like that. So lots of people still have that thought that material success is what matters, and not something else which is close to us and within our hearts. Finding success within means that we are trying to find success where it really exists, and that success is actually existing within us. So how can we find it, and what is the meaning of success, we'll come to. But let me first make preliminary remarks on why we are doing this. Firstly, we all know that the lockdown is there and we are all at home, we are all online, and teachers are doing a lot of online classes. I'm sure all of you who have joined have had experience of online classes by now. The other thing is that we are undergoing stress and worry and fear. So it is good to listen to some positive thoughts, which Atul and I hopefully will bring you. And we have been doing this series with a lot of schools already. Yours is one of the schools which has joined this webinar series, and it's wonderful to have you. And actually, if you look at it, in this period, it is the time when we can focus on these aspects of life. When we go back to school and classes and normal work, then things will be back to that frenzied lifestyle. So those of you who are feeling depressed or low or worried, where does fear come from? Where does it exist? It exists inside us. It exists in our minds. And fear and worry are very much a part of human lives, no doubt about it. But to say that fear is something we should have all the time or most of the time is wrong. We should not. It should only be there from time to time, at times, minimal amount of time. How can we minimize our fear? By increasing our faith. So if we increase our faith, then we reduce our fear. That is what really matters. Do you have faith on yourself and your family and your friends, or do you have faith in God? That is what really matters. So the more your faith, the less your fear. There is an inversely proportionate relationship between the two. A mother who throws up her child into the sky or into the air when the toddler is just not even 1 year old, the mother or the father will throw up the child and catch the child, and the child will laugh and giggle, and not knowing that how it feels to get hurt if the child falls on the ground, because the child doesn't know that pain, that fear. And the mother never drops the child. The father also never drops the child. Nobody drops a child like that. They do it only when they know that this is something that we can do. And the child loves it. And the child is secure. But we are grown up. We are older. We are wiser, I guess. So we know fear. We have learned how to get scared. We have worries. We have the world, the problems of the world with us. We have, if I can be very blatant on this show, we have Arnab Goswami to warn us about the dangers of the world, about the tremendous worries that we should have, about the scare, about the fear. So we have TV news, and we have social media, and we have WhatsApp, and we have all kinds of Facebook posts, and we have newspapers. So all these things are adding to our worries and fears and bombarding us with negative information and knowledge and awareness, which probably should be minimized by us. There are people in the same circumstances who are scared, worried, negative, depressed. Others in the same situation who are probably chilled out, positive, calm, balanced, cheerful. How is it possible that two human beings in the same situation react and respond differently to that situation? You will see that there is one person in your group, family, or friends who is always cribbing, always crying, always complaining. And the other, there may be one extreme, other extreme, who is always, positive, optimistic, cheerful. You are somewhere in the middle. We are all somewhere in the middle. So we are often prone to being influenced by negative forces more than positive forces, unfortunately. And they say in the media industry that no news is good news, but good news doesn't sell, and bad news sells. People watch the TV when bad news is there. If somebody has won some accolades, it's okay. I mean, that's okay, fine. So why are we like this? And where does success lie? Where does happiness lie? If you look at it, happiness lies within us, success lies within us. Where does success come from? It comes from our attitude. It comes from how we feel. It comes from how we are, not from what we do. It doesn't come from how many marks we got. It doesn't come from how much money we have. It doesn't come from how many followers we have on Facebook or Instagram. That is really not success. Power, money, and fame are temporary. So my book, Finding Success Within, focuses on the fact that we have to live success. We have to yearn for success within. Even if you are sitting by the riverside and trying to just throw pebbles into the river and gazing at the water and mountains beyond, when the lockdown is over, of course, not right now, you will find yourself feeling more peace than when you are on top of the world with promotions and money and lots of other things happening in your life. Those are times when you are on top of the world, but in a different way, material success. Material success means happiness will come, but it will be temporary. That happiness is not permanent. Somebody who becomes prime minister will be happiest on day one and not so happy after day 100 or 200 or 300. There is a law of diminishing returns in all human endeavors. Some of you are from economics, I guess. You understand that nothing can give us permanent happiness. And if nothing can give us permanent happiness, why should we do it? Yes, we have to do it. We have to aspire for happiness. We have to aspire for peace and success. We have to aspire for material success also. Because the world has placed us with some duties. We have to look after our family. We have to earn a salary. We have to earn livelihood. We have to also do more and better. If you are in a particular position in life, it is good to aspire to be more and better. There's no doubt about it. And there is no need to sit idle and just, wonder. I'm not saying that you should find peace within meditation and happiness and don't do anything outside. That's also not right. So we balance our lives. We aspire for better work, better success in worldly terms, more achievements, more recognition, more power, more success in worldly terms. But the journey of the mind within, the heart, the solace or the peace that you find within is more important. There was a saint. Now, let me tell you a little story. A saint came, he was meditating at the top of a small hill near a village. And the village was full of about 200 people, let's say, lived there. One man got to know that this saint has a very expensive diamond with him. And this man goes to the saint and asks the saint, he's meditating, he breaks his meditation peace. He says, "Sir, I'm sorry to disturb you, but I believe you have a diamond." He says, "Yes, I have a diamond." He says, can you give it to me?" He says, "Yes, I can give it to you." He takes out the diamond, which is a very expensive looking diamond, and gives it to the man and starts meditating again. Now this man is amazed, astounded, flabbergasted, shocked, surprised. He's bewildered. He goes home and he keeps wondering how this saint gave him the diamond like that. He takes a week and he comes back to the saint. He says, "Sir, you can have your diamond back." The saint is still meditating and he opens his eyes. He says, "Why? Is it not useful to you?" He says, "No, sir, it's very useful, very expensive. I can become the richest man of the country if I have this diamond. But if I really ask you a question, I don't want this diamond. I want that which made you give me this diamond. You don't have money, wealth. You gave me this diamond. Why did you give it to me? What is that quality?" So the saint said, "Obviously, when I'm giving you something, I have more than that with me. If you have 20 rupees only, then you'll give someone 10 rupees. The man wanted to know what it is that made him part with the diamond. Now, what is that? It is basically something superhuman. It is a saintly act to part with such riches so quickly. But the point is that our focus is to be on true happiness if we are to be truly successful. And that happiness comes from within. It comes from inside us. It comes from peace of mind. Supposing we are very, very wealthy, very, very successful, but we don't have peace of mind, then what is life about? It's about more burdens, blood pressure, health problems, stresses, strains. How am I going to retain this wealth? How am I going to retain this power? How am I going to live with this success? How can I be more successful tomorrow? So the richest man in the world need not be the most happy man in the world. They can be someone very poor who is happier. If you look at Barack Obama, he was probably one of the happiest looking presidents that you ever saw. These days you have a president of America who doesn't look happy. So if Barack Obama could look so happy, that came from within. It came from his aura, his charm, his feeling from within, where he felt so happy. So let us try and think at reasons which make people actually happy and successful. In the next few minutes, you're going to watch a video. So just keep your mind on that video but also take a moment to ponder over this question of what is true happiness and success. And I'm going to pass over to Professor Atul Khosla. He's going to show you a video about Aman, a scholar, a research scholar at Shoolini University, who's transformed herself and in the process come up with an amazing finding. Yes, Atul.
Thank you, Vivek. Happiness makes us do extraordinary things. And I wanted to bring up a case example, the story of Aman. Aman did her undergrad and master's at Shoolini and then did a PhD. And somewhere along the way, ended up doing something absolutely phenomenal. She has discovered a molecule which, when exposed to water, kills bacterial activity by 99.9%. And we'll show this to you in a second. She's won something called the Young Water Fellow. It's a fellowship of the United Nations where more than 100,000 researchers across the world apply. She spent 4 months in the UN headquarters, WHO headquarters in Geneva. She's won a 25 lakh award by the Tata Trust. And when I asked her what's the secret of her success, out came very simply happiness. And that's the magic of happiness, Vivek. So I'm going to play this video and then we'll talk about Aman in a second. So Vivek, that's the story of Aman. This molecule that she's discovered could change the way the world drinks water. And who knows, one day she might even win the Nobel Prize. But I think that's not the point today. The point which I'd like to make before I hand it over to you is, classically, when I was growing up, my dad would come to me and say, Atul, why don't you study hard? If you study hard, you get into IIT, you will then be very happy. Which I did, but I don't think happiness came to me that easily. And I think that's true for all of us. And there's a new science apart from all our, gurus telling us that, be happy, do meditation, but there's a new science being taught at Harvard. And the new science is called happiness. And increasingly people are saying that it's not that successful people are happy, but happy people are successful. So I think with those thoughts, I want to hand it over to you, and you're the guru on this topic.
No, absolutely. Thank you. Lovely thoughts, Atul. In fact, this happiness course which Harvard conducts, and there was a study that Harvard conducted of men and women over 70 years, and most of you may have heard of it, or you can go to Google and find it, where the true meaning of happiness came out over a study of 70 years. Different researchers kept on doing it like a relay race, and they came with an answer that actually happiness comes to those who spend time with their families, their loved ones, and they actually value relationships and moments spent together, and also moments spent through self-development and introspection and meditation. So when we are running, when lockdown is not there, then we are usually running from pillar to post, running from here to there, running from work to home and home back to work. We tend to forget the meaning, the bigger picture. And one of the chapters that I mentioned in this book of mine is the bigger picture. So success will come to those who see the bigger picture all the time. What is the bigger picture? The bigger picture is not the coronavirus. If you can somehow expand your thoughts from 2020 May, which it is now, to the whole of your life, the life that has passed, the life which is to come, how big a landmark will this virus be in a 70 or 80-year-old life? Let us think. Maybe it is a big landmark, but there may be other landmarks which are happy, which are progressive. Man landed on the moon, it's a huge landmark. The World War was a huge landmark, both of them. This is a big landmark. But my guess is that in a long life, you will have very faded memories of the virus. And at the moment, everybody is virus, virus, virus. Iske alawa kuch nahi. That is not true. So we have to expand our thoughts. Think of next year. Think of October this year. Think of your birthday. Tell the children also not to worry. What are we doing? We are telling our children that you are too much, there's so much competition. You better get 99% marks. You better do this, better do that. Of course, it is okay to egg them on and spur them on to success. But discouraging them, comparing them with anyone, talking like that in front of children about worrisome, fearful things will not lead to any progress. So success means that you are able to enjoy your success and happiness during the journey. And the journey is not one-off journey, it is a day-to-day journey. You cannot say that I will be happy in 2025, because by then I will have that car which I wanted, I will have that house which I wanted, I will have that salary which I wanted, and maybe whatever, those who are not married, I will be married by then. I will have a couple of children also, if you are quick. But the point is that you cannot really measure happiness by landmarks. And that is a fact which human beings fail to understand. Tomorrow, I am going to get my promotion. Yes, it's a delightful development. It will give you happiness, not lasting happiness. It will give you impermanent happiness. It will give you fleeting happiness, temporary happiness, transient happiness, which cannot really last. So, the attitude from within is what we need to work on, dear teachers. We need to work on our self, that is our thoughts, our feelings, our emotions, our mind. And if our minds are full of jealousies or anger or hatred or even pettiness, somehow we need to extricate ourselves from that. It is difficult. We are human. We will have times when we are irritated, angry, upset, even distraught. But we have to somehow rise above. Meditation is the way that some people adopt. They meditate morning and evening, and they find that they are feeling calmer the whole day. They find that they are able to handle little pinpricks, as they call them, little problems much easier. Now, I know that you are from Parvanu, and Parvanu is a place where we cross when we go from Panchkula to Shimla or to Shoolini. And I know that it's not a big town. I have been SDM of Kalka, in case you don't know. Kalka is your neighboring town. And I was SDM of Kalka about 25 years ago when I started my career. And I know Parvanu. But if you look at the bigger picture of your universe, and you look at the fact that you are a human being with a family, with a school to work at, or whatever you do, how can you contribute to the happiness of the world? Can you do some social change? Can you teach children in a way that they become outstanding citizens? Not only outstanding achievers, but outstanding human beings. Can you make complete personalities? Can you do your little job, whatever it is, as best as you can? Can you find joy in that? Can you find happiness in that? That is your aim in life. Anyone's aim in life is happiness. Spreading happiness to others, finding happiness within. At the end of life, it will not matter how many cars you had, or which car you had, or what power you had, or even who you knew. I know the DC, I know the SDM, I know the minister. It's okay. God doesn't think of these things. At the end of your life, it won't matter. What will matter is how you are, how you have been, how you have felt, how you have spoken to others. So let's come to speaking to others, because this is an important part of happiness and success. There's a chapter in my book on emotional intelligence. I am a good human being, let's say, but I don't speak well to others. I mean, I don't speak in a manner that is graceful. I am irritable, I shout, I snap, I react, I say things which are very strong word, acerbic, critical, negative, full of venom. Why am I like that? At sometimes I am, and sometimes I'm not. Most of the time, I should be speaking in a manner that is positive and harmonious to good relations. There is an old Punjabi joke between husband and wife. They say, harmony kaise hoti hai? Ya ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ? ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਜਦੋਂ ਇੱਕ ਬੰਦਾ ਹਾਰ ਮੰਨ ਲੈਂਦਾ ਹੈ ਤਾਂ ਹਾਰਮਨੀ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ. ਉਹਨੇ ਹਾਰ ਮੰਨੀ ਤੇ ਹਾਰਮਨੀ ਆ ਗਈ. Which is a joke which my Punjabi is not great. But the point is that one of them has to accept, or both of them have to accept the other person's point of view. Harmony, difficult to achieve. Anger, easy to display. Those who are angry are not successful in my view. If you display your anger 100 times or 10 times or 5 times a day, what is the use of your power and success? If people don't love you, like you, if people are not fond of you, if people are not looking up to you, respecting you, that respect, that goodwill that you earn through your conduct, anger management, and your good behavior and helpful attitude is what will really count in life. That is success, and that is happiness. When you retire, I have a story I always tell. A principal of a school retired, and he was 12 years after that, he was standing at a railway station waiting for the trains, and a man and his wife and 2 young children, they come to this principal. The man touches his feet, says, sir, I was your student in school. I was going by another train. I saw you standing, but I thought I must spend time with you and pay you my regards. My wife is here. She also knows about you. I kept talking about you when we got married after that, how much you inspired me. My children also have heard about you. He tells them, the children, that this is that sir about whom I used to talk to you. This principal who retired 12 years ago, standing in the station alone, does not expect such love, because it's a materialistic, matlabi society. Everybody is going about their business. But this couple, these children, they come to him. That is the earning of his life. And that is success. That is success. His goodwill, his goodness has led to success. This is what matters in life. Ultimately, how much goodwill you accumulate. Of course, you have to have enough to subsist, to survive, to live, to flourish. And you have to be able to do your work well. Those who get satisfaction out of great teaching, great organization, great hard work are equally good. There's no harm at all. We have to do that. But our conduct, behavior, and our way of being is really what matters. So another story, there was this man whose grandmother was not well, and he was sitting with her in the hospital. She was ill. She was about 80 years old, maybe end of her 80s also, about 88, 89. And she was looking out of the window, and after every few minutes, she would say, there goes another one. And this man, this grandson, thought that grandma is getting a little, delusional, and she's speaking about things which don't exist. So she's maybe losing her consciousness. He's worried about her. And she's going on saying, there goes another one. And suddenly he thinks he must call the doctor. So she says, where are you going, Adam? Sit down. Look at that plane which is going by. There goes another one. Whenever there goes by a plane, I pray for all those people on the plane. I pray for their health. This lady who is dying in the hospital, not well at all, critically ill, is praying for the health of unknown people on that aeroplane every time the aeroplane passes by. Adam, the grandson, learns a lesson from this story. We can also learn a lesson. Ultimately, this is what matters. You might think that these are bookish things, these are philosophical thoughts, these are goody-goody thoughts, but there are people who live by them and they succeed. They're popular. They do well. They are able to achieve what they want because they work hard also. And they come up with the right attitude when it matters. That right attitude is something which really, really inspires. So being a good leader as a teacher or as a principal, if these skills of anger management, of earning goodwill instead of getting things done by authority and fear, instead of going overboard with pressure, if we can get things done through positive happiness, at the same time while holding firm. Many people ask this question, how can we get things done? People are not easily manageable and they don't listen to us. That is the normal response. Well, you have to be firm. You have to be clear. You have to communicate well. That is success. If you are a good communicator, you get things done with other people. Your team is inspired as well as capable of doing what you have to do. That is success as a leader. But they do it happily and with goodwill. They do it from their heart, not zabardasti because they are terrified of your action. There is a difference. A person who works out of wanting to work from his heart will do 100 times better job. He's inspired, she's inspired to do something which is worth doing, which is really because the leader has inspired her or him. Whereas somebody who is doing it only out of fear so that ma'am will not get angry will not really put heart and soul into it, will only do this much. So at any level that you are in your teaching career, you have students as well. If they look up to you, if you are an example, a role model, like often we talk to parents, I talk to parents as well, and I tell them you have to be role models for your children. It's a common thing, but you have to actually implement it. So can you be that teacher who students look up to, they respect, you are cheerful, you are positive, you are dynamic, you are a good teacher, good communicator, or are they only scared of you? Both things are important to an extent, but I would go for the first one any day. So I think that's about it in terms of my talk on success and the factors for success. I'll wrap up at the end, and Atul Khosla will show you a video on Shoolini University and what success is in terms of achievement. You can get an idea from here also. Over to you, Atul. I think Atul is just coming on. Yeah, there he is.
Thank you, Vivek. I thought I was on and I forgot to put myself, unmute myself. It's always so charming listening to you.
Thank you.
So I just wanted to add one last thing, which is all the wonderful work that you teachers are doing. Many times we talk about Corona warriors nowadays. In my mind, you teachers are great Corona warriors. You ensured that not a single day of teaching is lost. Every young Indian is out there learning something, but more importantly, you're keeping the momentum up, the enthusiasm up. So hats off to all of you. It's the young Indians who'll make India a success. It's the young human beings who'll make human beings as successful. And there are lots and lots of examples over here. That's my passion too. I teach because I believe I can influence young minds, and that's what keeps me going every day. And that's really the passion and the motto of Shoolini, and I'd like to show you a small video on this.
Throughout history, the young have always been the ones to shape the future. And they continue to do so today. You are the country's biggest asset, our best bet to conquer the future. So what are you waiting for? Your time to dream is now. Dream of the research that can change the world. Dream of a high-flying corporate career. Dream of higher studies in the world's best universities. Dream of developing cutting-edge technology of the future. Dream of your own global startup. At Shoolini University, we empower you and enable you to chase your dreams and change the world. Shoolini University. Think learning, think success.
Thank you, all of you. It's, I think, because of many of your students come to Shoolini, so it's a lot of your effort also that makes us so special. So Vivek, we should, if you're done, we should open it up for Q&A, and I'll request the teachers to ask questions. I think Harneet ma'am is also with us. Probably before we get into Q&A, we can request ma'am to go live, unmute herself, and give us 30 seconds to 1 minute of her thoughts, and then we can go into Q&A. Harneet ma'am, are you there?
Teachers can get their questions ready, and Dr. Harneet is about to speak. Yeah.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Sir, it was quite an enlightening session. Yes, I'm sure all the teachers have benefited out of it quite a lot. So, and yes, a lot of our students do go into Shoolini University. I guess that's the best university to be around in. And otherwise, there was quite a bit of our students going to Chandigarh and all these close by places. But yes, Shoolini has taken away a large chunk of our students. Very happy to connect with you. And since I think this is the first webinar that we are having, so I'm sure the teachers must be equally excited. And yes, I joined a bit late. I was tied up somewhere. So thank you so much. It was a session, and I would invite my teachers, anybody, and thank you, sir. That is Atul. Sir, thank you. If I have got your name right, have I?
That's right. It's Atul Khosla.
Yes. Thank you so much. And it was a great insight into the Shoolini University also, although I visited it a couple of times, but not the way that you've gone about it. So I'm sure the teachers are ready with their questions. Thank you so much. It was interesting at the time of the lockdown to be connected. Yes, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Again, I'll request teachers to please ask questions. Till then, Vivek, I have always wondered about this particular question. You know, teachers are today under so much stress. I think many of them are ladies, many of them are mothers, wives, daughters. You know, they are playing multiple roles apart from being a teacher. They have to keep the house running. There must be a lot of stress on them. So how do they manage the stress? How do they maintain happiness in times like these?
I agree with you, Atul. And in fact, you must admit, and I must admit, that ladies are more multidimensional than us. They have more to handle, and they handle it with aplomb. If you look at the pressure on a lady who looks after the home as well as her job, it is tremendous. And men and women both come back from work at times, and the men don't help out. So it's of course, lockdown is a different scenario where men are equally capable of helping out now. But the women are obviously more stressed out in terms of the number of activities that they have to do. And prioritizing them and managing them well is the only way out. And also finding time to de stress and finding time for yourself. So, with all your duties of teaching, ladies and gents also, all the duties that you have, and then looking after your own children, their classes are going on, their whatever homework and their food, and then your husband must be around or your spouse is around. So the thing is that you have to prioritize your day, find at least half an hour for yourself. Even in a normal working day, when you go back to school, you will have to find a half an hour for yourself. Get into creative activities which you look forward to. You always love to play music or sing or even dance or whatever it was, and now you can't do that because you're so busy. Try and find that half an hour for yourself and your fitness, and prioritize the rest of it, Atul. That's the only way I think they can manage, by being good time managers.
I'm also thinking about all successful people I know, and I think all of them have some very specific hobby. Someone like you, for example, is into meditation in a big way. So is my father. I do a lot of sports. Steve Jobs was big time also into yoga. So is our Prime Minister, Mr. Modi. So everyone has some hobby. So that's something I think which you're also trying to say. A couple of questions over here. There's one from Niru ma'am. She's asking us what is satisfaction. I'll just add to this, Vivek, what is also happiness? We'd love to hear from you. So I'm reminded of a small anecdote. You know, I was standing in front of the lobby of Taj Hotel with a colleague of mine, and a big Mercedes drove in. And I asked her, I said, Tanu, would you like to be happy, or would you like to be the owner of this Mercedes? I didn't know what she was about to say, but she looked at me. She thought I was crazy, and then went out and said that, I think I'll take the Mercedes because I'm not sure I'll be happy if I don't have the Mercedes, but at least there's a chance I'll be happy if I have the Mercedes. Anyway, jokes apart, what's your take on satisfaction and happiness?
Yeah, Neeru ma'am, good question. And I must also thank Jyotsna ma'am, Ritu ma'am, and Ishit for complimenting the session. They've given very positive feedback already. What is satisfaction and what is happiness, as Atul said? So satisfaction, in my view, is a very lower level term in terms of the ladder of success. So if happiness is at the very top, and let us say success is somewhere in the middle, then satisfaction. So satisfaction is when you actually feel that you have accomplished something that you wanted to accomplish. You feel momentarily, you feel good about it. You have had a good lunch, you feel satisfied in a way, this was, very nice. But if that lunch was not good for you, maybe after 2 hours, your stomach is not feeling that good, the satisfaction goes out of the window. So basically, happiness, as Atul compared, whether it is having a Mercedes or not having a Mercedes. If you have a Mercedes parked outside, वो कहते हैं घोड़े बेच के सोना चाहिए. तो घोड़े बेच के सोने का मतलब है that you don't have any assets to worry about, and then your sleep will be more peaceful. So if you have assets to worry about, then that burden. Now, Mr. Ambani is the richest man in India. Whether he's the happiest man in India, I have my doubts, because it's very difficult for a man with a lot of possessions to sleep that peacefully, because he's always trying to increase his possessions or look after his possessions. I know of an uncle of mine who looks after 3 or 4 properties that he has here and there in India. It's tough for him. All these, some court case, something else. So the more you accumulate, sometimes it becomes difficult, which is not to say that you should not have material satisfaction. You should try and achieve goals that you set out. First of all, achieve your goals to the best of your ability. So have at least 3 goals which you feel in my life. I want to be a great teacher. I want to also be a great artist, supposing you paint, etc. And I want to be a good human being. If you achieve reasonable results in these 3 goals, then that is happiness, success, satisfaction, all rolled into one.
So, I'm when you spoke about the three things, Vivek, it reminds me of a beautiful movie, and it's on Netflix. So, do go and watch it, everyone. It's called The Bucket List.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful story. I won't give the story away, but do have a look at the movie. We have another question from Sakshi ma'am. Vivek, you want to answer this one?
Yeah, how can we come out with stress within ourselves in this present situation? So basically, what she means is how can we reduce our stress, minimize it, perhaps eliminate it? So let's say elimination of stress is not possible because we are in a human situation. Things will keep happening. Ups and downs of life will continue. There's a saintly saying that there's no such thing as a smooth life. There's no such thing as a smooth life. A smooth life is not possible. So what we do is to minimize our bumps, minimize our pains and stresses. How do we do that? By not letting many of the things that affect us affect us. So how do we do that? We make a list of things that these 5 things actually stress me out. I worry a lot about this, or this person gets on my nerves every day. He talks to me too much and I can't handle him. Supposing you are in an office and 2 seats away, there's somebody who keeps needling you, who keeps talking. He adds to your stress, but it is you who is allowing him to control your mind. So the higher level thinking is that I will not allow myself to be stressed out with all these things. Whatever minimum stress is not unavoidable, that you will have to handle. But whatever you are adding to by your own thoughts, fears, worries, overthinking, that is worse. So get rid of overthinking and try to simplify your mind by minimizing the number of things.
So I have another incident to tell, Vivek, if you allow me.
Sure.
When I used to live in Zurich, I had a very dear friend who was one of the leading psychiatrists of Switzerland, and I became very close to him. And I once asked him, after seeing how he worked, I told him that you must be a very stressed person. How do you manage all of this? And he said something very interesting. He said, Atul, stress is so relative. I have lots of work, but I don't think I'm stressed. But there are people I meet who have everything in life. They've got money, they've got everything going for them, beautiful families, but they still remain stressed. So stress is so much about how we take stress rather than how much stress you get from the outside world.
Absolutely correct. Absolutely. We also have compliments from Meenu ma'am, Shelja ma'am, or Shela ma'am,
Shailadat, man.
and Archana ma'am, who says that the Punjabi example of harmony. Well, I usually don't come out with the Punjabi ones, but this was. But I must say that Meenakshi ma'am's question is also important. Why sometimes we are sad and the reason is not clear to us. So this is basically, it is an example of our moods. So in my view, I'm not a psychologist, but I think that when we are in a sullen mood, we are just, letting anything and everything affect us. So we wake up in the morning sometimes and we are in a mood, or somebody said something to us, and directly we cannot correlate our mood to what he said, but actually it's the result of that. And then we start feeling sorry for ourselves, and then we start feeling worse. So we get into that whirlpool. So we have to actually get into activities which give us that charm of life. So as I said, creative thinking, Atul said hobbies, some sports, some music, some entertainment, some movie, and gossiping and rumors are not really what I'm talking about. A lot of people spend time gossiping about so and so and so and so. Maybe we can minimize that time and watch a happy movie instead, or read a book. So I think when it's not clear to you what the reason is, it is the result of how you feel from within, and you're letting things get to you which shouldn't. So work on your moods. Paramahansa Yoganandaji said, he's the author of the autobiography of a yogi, and that book is a life-changing book. He said moods are our greatest enemies. He says, don't allow moods to get to you. and carry within yourself a portable paradise, which you will carry with you wherever you go. So that portable paradise is somewhere within us. We don't allow anybody to inflict any wounds on that. That is what it is.
Ishita ma'am has a question. If you go to the Q&A, Vivek, and then I'll answer Niru ma'am's question.
Yeah, so Ishita ma'am is saying, I'm an overthinker. Can you suggest how to remain calm? So it is actually a modern element to overthink. It is not only you, Ishita, it is hundreds of people, thousands of people, lakhs of people do that. They basically worry about scenarios which may not ever happen. What if this happens? What if that happens? That is one thing which makes us think too much. The other is we fear failure so much. So we keep thinking, what if I'm not able to succeed? What if I'm not able to this? And then we are into imaginary situations at times in our relationships. We think our partner might be doing this or that or the other, overthinking. So overthinking is something which is our enemy because we are typically thinking negative things. Better than overthinking negatively is to daydream. Daydream, fantasize, think of yourself on top of the world. And even that is not great, but it is at least you are thinking positively and thinking about happy thoughts that, you are the most successful person in the world. So think, if you're thinking, then get into your childhood habit of daydreaming a little more. Think of good thoughts, give vibrations of goodwill to others who have helped you in the day, and do more activities which will keep you away from thinking.
So Vivek, this reminds me of a movie, Rajesh Khanna movie called Anand.
Oh yeah.
You might be aware of that, and some of you might have seen it. Rishikesh Mukherjee, and a beautiful dialogue I'm reminded of. Rajesh Khanna says, हमारी सबकी प्रॉब्लम पता क्या है? हम आने वाले गम की सोच में आज की खुशी खराब कर लेते हैं.
खराब कर देते हैं, बिल्कुल.
So Niru ma'am is asking a comment I made, which is
your question.
Successful people need not be happy, but happy people are successful. So Niru ma'am, it's really about the traditional way we think about success. We're thinking about professional success as success, and to get successful professionally, you need a lot of focus. You need to get your work right. You need to make sure that whatever work is given to you, you take initiative. You're a leader, etc., etc., etc. Typically, if you're happy, you'll be able to be more productive. Your quality of work will be superior. And if you chase it the other way around, where you're thinking that, one day I'll be successful and I'll get happy, that ain't going to happen. So try to be happy with what you are. Try to be relaxed with what you have. You'll see that your work, your professional work will also start getting better. I can almost guarantee that to you. So stop being stressed about what your boss thinks, your colleagues think about you. Put in your best, smile every day, look into the mirror and smile, and you'll do great.
Absolutely correct. This not thinking about what others say is a beautiful example that mentioned that Atul has done. Because when we keep overthinking about what so-and-so is thinking about us, we add to our unhappiness. One more, Atul?
So yeah, there's Monica ma'am is asking, satisfaction is also a part of happiness. I agree, but sometimes we cannot express. Why?
So one way to look at this is that if we keep encouraging others and expressing our happiness and satisfaction with what they are doing for us, that is one way to become a more cheerful and happy person. Even your rickshawala, peon, your helper, bhaiya, tumne bahut acha ye kara, something like that. It makes them feel good for 6 months, and you also feel good about having said something like that. So appreciation of others, and then expressing your happiness and satisfaction in a way that makes others feel that they contributed to it. So when you thank others, then you really feel much better. I think that might help. Priyanka ma'am is asking, why do people tend to focus on things they don't have and become sad rather than focusing on what they have become? So that is a very good point, Priyanka, but that is the human element and imperfection which humans have. They never look at what they have. We never look at what we have. We always look at what we don't have. The neighbor has a better television set, or Roger Federer won Wimbledon, I didn't win it. I mean, there are so many endless things that you couldn't do or didn't do. But that is basically, you have to reverse that into an attitude of gratitude. If you meditate, if you start meditating, all of you, I think you will be able to handle stress better. You will become more humble, You will have more gratitude. It somehow has that positive impact. Whichever religion you follow, read your scriptures and find time to meditate. Meditation can be done through some techniques. I can write down a website also here. Follow those meditation techniques, and you will find your life becoming more full of gratitude and humility, calmness, happiness, cheerfulness. And these are the signs of success.
Vivek, I think we're coming to an end. It's almost 2 minutes to go. Before we close, I'm being tempted to do a rapid fire on you. Are you ready for that?
Atul, should I ask you a rapid fire today?
I think today it's my turn, tomorrow it's yours, right?
Okay, all right.
Okay, your favorite color?
Red is still my favorite color.
You always say red. Okay. What about your favorite book?
My favorite book is the autobiography of a yogi. I mentioned it. It is absolutely amazing. I've mentioned a website in the chat box. It also is about that and the teachings and how you can meditate.
Your favorite cuisine?
Cuisine is South Indian. I love South Indian food. And one day my wife made it during the lockdown, so I'm very thankful to her.
Your favorite university campus?
Shoolini University campus. And this is not, ma'am, this is not a structured answer. It comes from the heart. I go to Shoolini very often, and I speak, I teach, I meet Atul and the team. We take some decisions. But the point is that during lockdown, we're missing it. It's a beautiful, beautiful campus. You have already been there, you said, but you must go again. And, your teachers can also really be inspired.
Thank you, Vivek. One last question. Hardeep, ma'am, give me 1 second. My rapid fire has one more question. You've talked about multiple ways to be happy and successful. Your top three of your book, ways to find success within.
Yeah, firstly, looking at the bigger picture of life at all times. Secondly, communicating well. And thirdly, finding that attitude and calmness within. That is very important. These three.
Lovely. Over to you, Harneet, ma'am. Sorry, you were wanting to say something.
I was just going to say, I think during this lockdown period, I guess all of us have gone through a lot of introspection, got time for ourselves and everything. Basically, what I have concluded that most of the stress is uncalled for. We do not need to take all that stress. Life is not that tough. It's beautiful if we see with
So
it.
agree.
Yes, so most of the stress is uncalled for. So I believe that we take on things which are not required. And during this lockdown period, the basic necessity of life I've come to conclude is very basic. So anything and everything which is an add-on is a stress. So yes, as like sir said, it is communicating with other people, how well you communicate, and especially when you cannot communicate directly. See, we are having online classes and everything. The teachers found it really tough and it was stressful for them initially. But as we started clearing out, our communicative skills got better, even if we were not in person. So I think what is being said and what is being perceived, if we have the right attitude, half the stress is gone. So whatever I say, whatever they perceive, if it's in the right direction, there's no stress. So I have learned that each one of us have found our own strengths, which is visible to me. A lot of people the teachers that I did not know had these strengths in them. I've been able to find out that during this time that they are really strong people with so much of talent and strength. So I think I've started seeing positivity in everybody, and that has brought down the stress to a great level. I think everybody is capable of doing so much more. So the lockdown has, I think, brought back the humane quality in all of us.
Very good.
And the stress levels have definitely gone down. And thank you, sir. It was really, really an inspiring session. I think we've gained a lot, and my teachers and I are totally indebted to you for such a wonderful session. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Harneet ma'am. And Josna ma'am is saying we in Parvanu are always lively and positive. I so agree. I think it's the Hawa Pani of Himachal. And we're also very happy and lively. I think, Vivek, you might be a little envious of us, but we'll leave it at that. Thank you once again. It's been an honor to be with all of you. Hopefully, once coronavirus is over, we can meet in person. Harneet ji, we'd love to come over to your school. Vivek and I would love to do a workshop with your students and the teachers.
Yes,
and of course, invite all of you over to Shoolini. It'll be an honor for us. Till then, see you again and have a great day and be safe.
Thank you so much.
Thank you all. Thank you for joining. Stay connected. Stay happy.